Well, thank you, Jim Bob James, for that wonderful celebrity endorsement. Look at the mullet's looking cool as always. I mean, you know, what can I say? Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Brian Jones. I live in West Virginia. I do live in a trailer, but it's a double wide. I wear shoes. I'm married, not to my sister or my cousin or anybody like that, but I'm married. I have 5 daughters. Yes, 5. I am a teacher's aide by day, which I really don't like my job, but hey, you got to pay the bills somehow. Then by the evenings and on weekends, I'm a professional wrestler. I'm also an aspiring actor. I've had a couple of jobs that were kind of meaningless. I did a commercial for the West Virginia Lottery that never aired. I also did an independent movie that never showed, where I was a settler. It was pretty cool though, because I got to carry a musket rifle, which I really enjoyed, and got to wear the old clothes, kind of like, you know, pilgrims and stuff. Really enjoyed that. Me and my wife also have an eBay business we do on the side, which is actually pretty interesting because it's kind of like a poor man's American Pickers. We go out to the yard sales and rummage sales and junk stores and estate sales and different things like that, and look for things that we can buy for a little and sell for profit on eBay. We really enjoy it, really like it. It's a lot of fun because you never know what you're going to find. I have some really good friends that I hang out with. I have church friends, and then I have friends through my professional wrestling. I have a friend, his name's Bob Brown, and he's multi-talented. Not only does he wrestle, he also sings, and he writes songs, and he is very musically inclined and plays several different instruments. He's a really good friend of mine. I also have a friend named Big Bill Johnson that's a friend of mine, and he's one of those guys that he's not really famous, but he gets around. I actually met him at the state capitol during the governor's inauguration, and the governor was standing up there, and he said, hey, he said, real good friend of mine's out in the audience. He said, I want everybody to stand up and give an applause to Big Bill Johnson from Logan County. And I was like, wow, man, you know the governor? And he's like, oh, yeah, you know. He said, me and him's tight. And I said, listen, man, I said, you know any country music stars? And he said, oh, yeah, you know. He said, I know a lot of people down in Nashville. I said, well, would you take me and introduce me to some people? So we went down there, and we drove up to this big, huge mansion and knocked on the door, and the butler came out there, and he said, oh, my gosh, it's Big Bill Johnson from Logan County. I can't believe it. You know, we haven't seen you in years. You got to come back more often. You know, he said, come on in. We come in, had no idea whose house it was. Who comes out but Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. They're like, oh my gosh, it's Big Bill Johnson from Logan County. They grab him and hug him, and he introduces me, and we sit down and have a cup of coffee with him. It was totally awesome. And I was like, man, I can't believe this. And he said, oh yeah, he said, let me go and introduce you to some stars. So we caught a plane, went to Hollywood, California. Went out there, and we went on a golf course, and lo and behold, who was there but Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis comes walking over. Oh my gosh, Big Bill Johnson from Logan County. You know, we sat, we talked to him, we went back to the club and sat down and had lunch with him. I mean, totally awesome, cool, you know. And while we were in there was a couple other stars that walked by and said hi to Big Bill. And I was like, man, this is just unbelievable. I said, how do you know all these people? Oh, well, you know, he travels and he gets around. And I said, man, do you know the new Pope? And he's like, actually, I do know Pope Francis. So we got on a plane. We went over to the Vatican City. We were over at the Vatican City, you know, and we go up to the gate, and the guard's there, and what does he say? Hey, it's Big Bill Johnson from Logan County. Come on in, come on in. And he said, well, this is a friend of mine. His name's Brian Jones, and I want to take him in to meet the Pope. And the guard says, well, now, we can't let him in because we don't really know him, but we'll let you in. So Big Bill says, I'll tell you what I'll do. He said, there's a balcony over there. He said, I'll go in to see the Pope, and when I go in to see the Pope, he said, I'll stand out there on that balcony, and he said, I'll wave at you, and that way you'll know that I'm the Pope. And I said, okay, Big Bill, we can do that, buddy. He goes on into the gate. He goes in there, and, you know, I'm waiting. Finally, these 2 people came out on the balcony. And they're waving at me, and I really can't tell, you know, if that's him, if that's a Pope and stuff. And I'm looking, and finally this guy walks by, and I said, excuse me, sir. I said, do you know could I use your binoculars? I noticed you got binoculars there. Do you know English? And he said, oh yeah, I know English. And I said, could you look through your binoculars and tell me if that's the Pope over there with my friend on the balcony? The guy grabs his binoculars and he looks over there, you know, and he takes his binoculars down, looks again, and then he takes the binoculars back up and looks, and he said, you know what? I can't really tell if that's a Pope or not, but that sure looks like Big Bill Johnson from Logan County. Oh, yeah, Bill gets around. He gets around. But me and some of my friends, we also like to go to good old boy conventions, which, not sure where you guys are from, but you might not know what a good old boy convention is. A good old boy convention is when we sit around, lean on somebody's truck, and talk about our four-wheelers and fishing and hunting and stuff. And that's kind of like a fun thing we like to do, too. Anyway, just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and once again, would like to thank Jim Bob James for his celebrity endorsement out there. Hopefully you guys will see that, you know, something in me there, that you'll give me a show, because I'd love to be able to entertain the people, and thanks a lot. Appreciate it.